peace be unto the nation of Israel, whom are modern day so-called negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, scattered across the four corners of the earth, mainly within America, along with you speckled-bird Israelites, whom are the Israelite foreigners, also scattered across the four corners of the earth, mainly within America as well, pursuing a biblical prophecy, whom of the Most High Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. And without further ado, as always, just want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honor to my power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI barak, meaning all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten and anointed Son, Yahawashi, who shed His blood for the remission of sins of Israel. And with that, Mashana, Kabawadim Lahasaquanium, Shalawam, meaning double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true shepherds of Yashala, and Shalawam, honors and salutation to Bayasha Dawadah, the house of David, representing the 144,000 governing body of the 1/3, along with the rest of the elect men, women, and children of the 1/3 scattered across the four corners. All right, and this is your fellow servant, Malak Rayab. It's back at it again through the spirit of prophecy, be the testimony of our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Continuing to blow the trumpet, all right, before Zion, the inhabitants of Jerusalem. All right, you lost 4 tribes of Israel, being these so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, and speckled-bird Israelites in these last days, because these last few prophecies come to pass, man. All right, and our Lord told us to give warning to our people in the book of Ezekiel. All right, to cry aloud and spare none, to spare no feelings, man, to bring out this word, all right, through the spirit of prophecy. And that includes this last world's war that's further escalating, man. All right, where you just had Babylon's two top adversaries blatantly threaten them, man. Because the Lord has put in a spirit on these heathen nations, mainly these top sovereign nations of adversaries of America, to further defy her brightness, pursuing Ezekiel 28:7, I believe it is. All right, regarding the perceived brightness of America being her wine of fornication, her present day Western philosophy, man. The idea of rebelling against righteousness, righteous order. All right, pushing out the vibration of demasculating men, all right, and masculating women, all right, pushing all these various vibrations of chaos and destruction, all right. It's by way of Babylon the Great, and that's what these other nations are further, defying. All right, sobering up off of that wine of fornication. All right, this Western philosophy, and that's what's further escalating these tensions, man. Because they're at odds, regarding their visions of sovereignty, man. All right, because this devil, all right, sleazy Esau, Edom, has been known as a hammer of the entire earth for so long, but that hammer of Babylon is being cut asunder, man, because these other nations are starting to look at this devil as a gazing stock now, because the curses of Israel are slowly are transferring over to our adversaries, man. And that's further goes into why the heathen are raging, because they have no rulership. Their rulership is in vain because it's not predicated off of righteousness, man. And that's why this earth is in turmoil right now. All right, pursuing Psalm 82:5, man, out of course, because strangers are ruling this earth. All right, the lowest of all heathen nations, the strangers of all nations, these Edomites, man, pursuing Psalm 144:7. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out a few of these articles and filter these recent events through biblical prophecy, because this is major news, man. All right, regarding Russia and China threatening America. All right, so this is entitled, all right, Russia warns U.S. warships to steer clear of Crimea for their own good. It says Moscow. All right, it says it's on Reuters, or a source. This is a source of Reuters. All right, and it says Russia on Tuesday warned the United States to ensure its warships stayed well away from Crimea for their own good, calling their deployment in the Black Sea a provocation designed to test Russian nerves. All right, and so that's blatant right there. So it says Moscow annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014, and 2 U.S. warships are due to arrive in the Black Sea this week amid an escalation in fighting in eastern Ukraine, where government forces have battled Russian-backed troops in the conflict. KYIV says he has killed 114,000 people. It says the deployment comes as the West sounds the alarm over what it says is a big and unexplained buildup of Russian forces close to Ukraine's eastern border and in Crimea. Russia has said it moves its forces around as it sees fit, including for defensive purposes. See? So they're saying, to hell with America, dictating how they, how they navigate, all right, how they should, run their own, attend to their own sovereign business, because in Micah the 2nd chapter prophesies how this devil would invade lands, all right, and compromise nations, even to the point of desolation of these nations, roughly paraphrasing that prophecy, Micah the 2nd chapter, around the 2nd verse, all right, and that goes into the history of the Spanish Inquisition, all right, goes into this devil, the history of this devil in, invading, lands and establishing, puppet governments, right, through puppet presidents and other politicians like Juan Guaido in Venezuela. So this is an ongoing track record, man, and and that's why they took out Gaddafi, all right, of Libya, because he didn't want to conform. He was further compromising, this global hegemony, man. All right, define the machine of America, Babylon the Great, pushing this agenda. All right, which is why when Gaddafi came out with that currency to further contend with this Federal Reserve note, this fractional banking reserve note, this wicked Federal Reserve note system. All right, they took him out for that. Okay, and these other nations don't understand the track record of these devils. All right, and that's why they're further gearing up for warfare, man. They're starting to challenge the authority of America because they see her glory dwindling, like it's prophesied in 2nd Ezra 15 and 50. All right, says Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov was cited by Russian news agencies on Tuesday as warning U.S. warships in the Black Sea to keep their distance. All right, saying the risk of unspecified incidents was very high. All right, and that's why that's why you had there was a similar article. It says the U.S. and Russia are sending warships into the Black Sea amid rising tensions. Okay. So regarding the Ukraine conflict with Russia and how, America has further used those tensions to further intervene, to further demonize Russia within that conflict is Ukraine's affiliation or a history with the USSR. Dealing with the Republic of the Soviets, all right, around World War II, all right, in which dealing with the Soviet Union shortly after World War II, sometime after World War II, you had the Ukraine eventually declare their own independence from Russia. So Russia still looks at Ukraine as a part of their territory because they were they were the head of the USSR. All right, when Ukraine was affiliated with them, so now they're still looking at them as if they're basically claiming them as their territory, just in similar fashion how China is claiming Taiwan as their as a province of China. All right, in which Taiwan has a similar idea of mind as Ukraine, as Ukraine with declaring their own independence. You see, and these Edomites of America are creeping in. Speaking like a dragon, all right, further instigating, all right, the growing conflicts between those nations, all right, looking to play matchmaker, so to say, all right, to prey on the vulnerability of the Ukraine and Taiwan, and to use them, within the mindset of the plot of a proxy war to further provoke Russia and China to war. All right. And now, as a further result of those provocations, we got Russia and China threatening America that much more blatantly because they're getting tired of this wine of fornication, man. Okay. Which is why you just had China threaten America. All right, as well. All right, which says here on Newsweek, China warns U.S. not to play with fire after warplanes descend on Taiwan airspace. Says China warned the U.S. on Tuesday not to play with fire after the Asian nation sent warplanes into Taiwan airspace. During a press conference, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian was asked about the U.S. updating its guidelines with Taiwan, encouraging engagement between the two nations. In response, Lijian warned the U.S. not to play with fire on the Taiwan issue, immediately stop any form of U.S.-Taiwan official contacts, cautiously and appropriately handle the matter, and not send wrong signals to Taiwan independence forces so as not to subversively influence and damage Sino-U.S. relations and peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, according to Reuters. The comments by the Chinese Foreign Ministry come amid increased tensions between the U.S. and China and their relations with Taiwan. Right? So it says Taiwan has long operated as an independent nation with support from Western nations such as the U.S., but China has continued to claim it as a part of their own territory. All right. So just to further expound on the point that was made regarding the relations between Taiwan and China, likewise Russia and Ukraine, and how America is instigating those conflicts. OK, and this whole ploy is being further exposed, you know what I'm saying, in regards to the purpose or intent of their agenda, man. OK, and that's to further, you know what I'm saying, bring forth this war. So I'm going to go and start off in Joel chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahawah cometh, for it is nigh at hand." So we're blowing the trumpet before Zion. We're warning our people, all right, through the spirit of prophecy, all right, crying aloud, sparing none, pursuing Isaiah 58:1, telling it how it is, all right, with this, this fully unadulterated truth in faith, truth, and sincerity, man, all right, the sound doctrine as is written, man, all right, despite, this truth, preordained by the Lord to ruffle a lot of feathers, all right, to offend people, okay, and to, ultimately to, and also anyway, to edify and exhort the elect, because there's a balance in this truth, okay, and that balance further entails people who were preordained to not get it, whose names are written in the earth, okay, those who are marveling and wander after the beast. All right, this modern day Roman Empire with great iron teeth, America, the splitting image of that empire. And you would have the other side of the spectrum of those who would get this truth, man. All right, the elect of the people of Zion. All right, the lost 12 tribes, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, and the remnant of them that would get this truth. And that's who we're blowing the alarm for, man. Okay, those who would follow the Lamb whithersoever he goes, man. The sheep that would hear the voice of the Lamb, all right, of the shepherd. Hamashiach Yahawashi, pursuing St. John 10:27. So we're out here warning our people, all right, repent, all right, for that great notable day of the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is nigh, man. That great dark and gloomy day of destruction, man, of great judgment and righteousness, man. Okay, through the plagues of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, including the greatest of all plagues, all right, that great millstone or that lake of fire, man. All right, simultaneously composed of the concentrated heat from the chariots and the projected million degree Fahrenheit worth of heat, all right, of this destroying wind of radiation and thermonuclear fire of these 200 million thermonuclear warheads, man, all right, from these ICBM missiles that the adversaries of America, along with America, are going to shoot amongst themselves, man, all right, including America's Minuteman II missile, their patriotic missile, all right, and other forms of weaponry, just like with Russia. Because Russia has a SS-18 codenamed Satan, all right, that can reach the shores of America in about half an hour. Okay, hence the title of that technology being intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. So these weapons are gonna come over here, man. Okay, and they're gonna spare none. Okay, all right, except for the elect, because we're gonna scarcely be saved, man. All right. Which is why in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter says, they shall behold the strangeness of our salvation, man. We're going to see us being beamed up in the chariots within the twinkling of an eye when these missiles start tearing up the shores of America, man. Removing the tectonic plates from underneath the ground and causing these mass earthquakes, man. We're going to see terrible. We're going to witness terrible things within this last world, within these last days, rather, in this world ran by the devil. Okay, because we're seeing him lose his power, man. Okay, we're seeing his wine of fornication, be poured out, and these nations are sobering up off of it, realizing how weak and feeble this devil actually is, man. So we're warning our people because this last world's war, Armageddon in Revelation 16 chapter is gonna further is gonna be devastating, man. All right, and for our people to be warned spiritually, all right, more so than ever before, because these last few prophecies coming to pass, man. Okay, in these last days, for the inhabitants of the land are gonna tremble. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get, so the message is to repent or die, man. All right. Hence why we blow the trumpet so adamantly, all right, to our people. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next precept in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. All right. We start at verse 7. It reads, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. All right. The nations are in a frenzy-like state of mind. They're mad. All right. They're discombobulated. They're distraught. All right. Over the effects of the wine of fornication, man. All right. Which is this Western philosophy. All right. Continuing the way that they run things. Okay. And that reminds me of, Russia speaking out against, the alphabet wave. You see, I'm going to get this here. Says on dem.us, Russia outlaws same-sex marriage, bans trans people from adopting. You see, and this is a part, and Russia is part of the Edomite Confederacy, and they're against Western philosophy that promotes quite the contrary. And that's why this demon Kid Cudi was just recently seen wearing a dress on his performance on Saturday Night Live, man. Okay, Lil Nas X pushing the same agenda. All these wicked celebrities, more so of the nation of Israel, are being used, all right, by these devils, these modern-day Chaldeans, the wise men of Edom, okay, all right, the rulers of the darkness of this world, to further push out these satanic vibrations, man, all right, of demasculation of the men and demasculation of women, okay, pushing pharmakia, all right, through the whole Crown Royale potion, okay, and that's why they have these so-called world leaders further pushing, justifying taking it, like there's been a couple of them. Okay, these politicians being, so-called being on the front line, being seen to be, taking it and, pushing it out there. In case in point, man, they're pushing their agenda out here. I mean, as they always have been. All right. You got Black Lives Matter headed by George Soros, a billionaire philanthropist demon. Okay, further pushing this agenda out here, man. The alphabet community and whatnot, man. All right, looking to normalize wickedness, but hey, Russia just spoke against it. They said, no, we're not down with that. They composed a law, or they said they're outlawing rather this agenda, this aspect of the agenda of the wine of fornication of America, Babylon the Great, and so is China. Okay, oddly enough, the same ones who also blatantly threatened America. You see. So it says here, a masculinity crisis. Okay, it says a masculinity crisis. China says the boys are not all right. Okay, Education Ministry plans to beef up gym classes after a top official said female teachers in pop culture had made boys weak, inferior, and timid. Okay, and that's why you see, this Chinese article further promoting the masculine vibration of men. Okay, to further prepare the minds of their men for warfare. Their nation, the men of their nation, for warfare against the whore Babylon that sits upon many waters, man. All right. So China promotes education drive to make boys more manly. You see, so this wine of fornication is starting to be that much more poured out within these last days. All right. So back in Jeremiah 51:8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth into heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right. So these nations they're gonna want to forsake Babylon, despite chasing this so-called American dream regarding the liberty and justice for all theme of America, prophesied in 2 Peter 2:19. Okay, and they're going to want to forsake this place, all right, and attend to the affairs of their own countries. Okay, because they're seeing the flaws within this place and how on how vulnerable this place really looks, man. That filthy, abominable gazing stock pursuing a Nahum in the 3rd chapter. Okay, and they know that this place doesn't have a promising future. All right, so they're abandoning they're going to slowly but surely abandon the philosophies and the ideologies of America, including liberty and justice for all. The notion that the Most High Yahawah supports all nations and creeds and lifestyles, man. And that's what America promotes, man. This whore that sits upon many waters, through that whorish doctrine. And that's why this place that's why the whore pursuing Revelation 17 and 16 is going to be burned by some of her own NATO allies, man. All right. That's why it's not a coincidence that Turkey's prophesied in Ezekiel 38 chapter, all right, in regards to this war, all right, between this war of Harmageddon, including Russia and her allies against America, man. And that's why you got Turkey looking to join the BRICS union with Russia and depart from NATO. You see, because these last few prophecies being fulfilled. So this is Jeremiah 51:10. The Lord Yahawah had brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahawah our power. All right, it goes into Joel 2:1, blowing the trumpet, man. Sounding the alarm for Israel, the elect of Israel, to repent. All right, and not to be caught up within the sins of Babylon the Great, as it says in Revelation 18 chapter. Depart from this place, unconform from this world. Okay, because being a friend of this world is being an enemy to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahawah hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which are the Russians. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahawah, the vengeance of his temple. All right, so I'm going to get the next precept in Isaiah 13:17, dealing with Russia, the modern day kings of the Medes, dwelling within that geographical location of the Medes. Okay, so it says, after they conquered it, that's where they dwell. All right. So this is Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. All right. So Russia the king of the Medes, being these Russians, are going to send their bows over here, man. Their SS-18 missile, their miniature Satan missile. Okay. Their ballistic missiles. They're gonna send these nukes over here, in which those thermonuclear warheads going within those missiles going to tear this place up, man. All right, for America's sins reaching the heavens, man. All right, just like it says here. Now China has cruise missile carrying catamarans chasing away ships in the South China Sea. You see? So that goes into the prophecy where it says, let the weak say I'm strong. All right? Like it says in Isaiah the 14th chapter, where it says, is this the man, okay, that shaketh the kingdoms, roughly paraphrasing? This is him? This devil? He's not so bad anymore, man. Okay, this devil's not the only one with weapons of mass destruction any longer. All right? You even got the likes of these weaker nations with thermonuclear capabilities, man. Let alone China, Russia, and Iran. All right. Says Turkey confirms U.S. destroyers are headed for the Black Sea amid Russia-Ukraine crisis. So this thing is heating up, man. All right. Isaiah 13:19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. You see, and the vibration of Sodom and Gomorrah is being, that's why it's not coincidence that the vibration of Sodom and Gomorrah is being further pushed in modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Modern day Babylon, okay, modern day Egypt, modern day Rome, okay, modern day Nineveh, modern day Syria, modern day Asia. Okay, that's why scriptures also speak about Asia as well. In 2nd Ezra is 15:46 and 2nd Ezra is 16:1. How there's going to be woe that's going to be brought on to Asia, okay. Representing the places of our captivity, and including the kings of the East, okay, dwelling within Asia, Okay, which leads me to just like it says, pull out some information on that. Salakia. All right, it's like you have here a map of the Persian Gulf. All right, and Euphrates River, pursuing Revelation 16 and 12 and other precepts. Okay, got the Euphrates. Okay, and then all right, then around there you have the territories. All right, around the Euphrates River, where this last world's war is prophesied to take place at, man. YAHAWAH Shaphat. All right, around the Persian Gulf. All right, where some of America's top adversaries are dwelling at, man. Iran. All right, Russia. Okay, Syria. And so this is biblical prophecy coming to pass. All right, that's why Asia is going to be the kings of the East within Asia are going to be heavily involved in this prophecy, man. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next precept in Ezekiel. Matter of fact, yeah, let me get Ezekiel 38. Before I do that, I'm going to get Revelation 16 and 12, dealing with the kings of the East. All right, including China and Russia. It says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon a great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the East might be prepared. Okay, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. It's dealing with the dragon, the serpent, Esau, Edom, through his military, which is what Washington represents. All right, and you got the mouth of the beast, and you got the mouth of the false prophet. All right, the mouth of the beast. All right, through the financial aspect of America's of this Edomite Confederacy being the UK. And then you got the false prophet representing the Vatican. All right. So that's those three aspects or three components of this Edomite Confederacy going to be heavily used to further push out their satanic New World Order agenda in these last days, including martial law, this economic collapse and justification behind it, shutting down the society. All right. We're using this whole border crisis as a furtherance to do so. We're not ignoring these devil devices, man. All right. And this is what they're planning to do. All right. To fulfill this, to complete this great reset. All right. So I'm going to get the next precept in Ezekiel chapter 38 from the top. And it says, and the word of Yahweh came into me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is Russia, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right, verse 5, Persia, all right, which is modern day Iran, okay, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, which is Turkey, and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay, so these other nations are they share that mutual mind frame of Russia, right, to further contend with this Western philosophy. Okay. Are going to further be strengthened within that alliance, hence why Iran and China just signed a $400 billion alliance to further strengthen their geopolitical military ties, man. All right, all to come against Babylon the Great, man. All right, so it's going to be one hell of a destruction. All right, because like it says in Isaiah 24 chapter, this earth is going to shake to and fro as a further impact of these missiles hitting the shores of America, man. All right, including the likes of the king of the Medes and their bows, their arrows, their ICBM missiles being shot over here, along with the rest of their mutual counterparts, you know what I'm saying, further contributing, you know what I'm saying, with that, assault against America as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get Joel chapter 3, starting at verse 9. And it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. So these are the heathen nations starting to gain more momentum and confidence now that they're seeing the spirit of bondage of America, all right, be compromised, man. All right, regarding the God complex predicated off of Edomite supremacy, they're starting to see that fade away, okay, rapidly. So now they see, they're starting to smell blood from their main enemy, their common enemy, Esau. All right, and they're going to come after this devil, man. This is prophesied, okay? So let there be warning to you Israelites, unconformed from this place, man, lest you get caught up in the destruction, like it says in Ezekiel 11:21. All right, Joel 3:11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahawah. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And it's going to take place in the Middle East, around the Euphrates River. Prophesied in Revelation 16:12, man, around the Persian Gulf, which is considered a safe haven by Iran. Okay. So that's where that war is going to take place, in the Middle East, man. All right. Including the kings of the East. All right. Regarding the likes of China and Russia as well. All right. Within Asia, this is prophesied in 2nd Ezra 16:1. How that be woe brought upon Asia. All right, Joel. So I'm going to go ahead and end this off in Joel chapter 3. All right, get verse 16. It says, the Lord Yahawah also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahawah will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel, for the Israelites who repented from their sins, man, pursuant to Isaiah 59:20. All right, I'm going to end it off here in verse 17. So shall you know that I am Yahawah, your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Okay, so no stranger will pass through our land to defile it like they're doing now. Regarding the Amalekites down there. Okay. And neither were Jerusalem, a people before a place, be defiled any longer, because we're going to be under that second covenant soon, man. All right. We're all going to be perfect in the kingdom of heaven, where 2/3 are going to die on this side. Okay, be reincarnated within the kingdom of heaven. All right, to partake into that blessing. And then hopefully, myself as the hopeful elect, along with the rest of the 1/3. We're going to make it on this side, man. And we're not going to taste death. Some of us are going to taste death. But either way, the dead in Yahawashi shall rise first. Okay? So the unfaithful shall die, all right, on this side. And those who are exercising their faith through works going to be spared from these terrible plagues in these the greatest of all plagues, man, this lake of fire. I'm going to sweep by this place, including those who takes the Charagma, or the microchip. All right, that they've been pushing as of recently, man, including the California governor, Gavin Newsom, talking about chipping the so-called migrants, and them coming out saying that the microchip can monitor those, who get the Crown Royale. So, supposedly. So, hey, man, we're at the door of these last few prophecies coming to pass. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is nigh, man. All right, so with that, call Allah YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM YAHAWAH. Forgive me the spirit to do this video, which I pray is for the edifying and exhorting to elect of Israel. You may come across the video. All right, and with that, a ball, DTA, Kwame Yasha Allah, Rise Israel, and shalawam to the elect. On to the next one.